All right, for this next part of the lab on Hubble's law, we're going to click on this tab up here that says distance. Now I'm going to show you some data that you previously have taken. You already looked at A-091. You already have your period filled in for all your stars, and you've already calculated the mean brightness. Now this next set of data is going to show you the relationship with Hubble's law and distance. So we already have the distance tab highlighted. We have the luminosity versus period. And all we're going to do is we're going to click show draggable point. And we can see, right, it's lined up 12.4 days as our period. So in that case, our mean luminosity would be 4,372 suns. And then again, all your periods are listed here in your data table from what you've done previously. You should have a piece of paper out recording all this stuff on a piece of paper, and you can just move it down. If the star has a period of, for example, 4 days, that's 1,526 suns. So you would just put that part in your data table there. So that's how you get the data for that part. Then you're going to determine the luminosity and the brightness of the star. So how do we do that part? You're probably wondering next. Okay, and all you're going to do is get your calculator out for this next part, and you are going to divide the luminosity, which is 4372, divided by 7004. And you get the number 0.624. And you can see that's where we're getting that in our table. So we're going to, first, we're going to calculate the number of suns, which we just did here, which is looking at our period. And then that will allow us to get this number here. 4,372, which is our mean luminosity. Then we're just going to simply divide our mean luminosity by our brightness, and that will give us the value in this column. All right, so complete that data for the rest of the stars, and then we'll keep moving forward. We're going to click on distance versus luminosity. And that is going to, once you have all this luminosity data collected, this is going to give you your distance. This is another graph. You can see here at the bottom we have luminosity. Here on the side we have distance. So in this case, we're going to use this luminosity brightness ratio, and we're going to actually move it along this draggable point. So in this case, we're looking for 0.62. We're going to get as close as we can. Sort of tough a little bit, but let's 6.1, 6.5. So let's say it's going to be 0.79. And that's our distance for that value. And then you're going to take all your luminosity brightness values. For example, if you have a luminosity value of 13.6, the distance would be 3.68 milliparsecs. And we're going to fill in that part of our data table here. And then we're going to answer some questions. All right, so if you have any other questions on this part of the lab gizmo, please be sure to contact your instructor.